know, maybe getting like cold feet or just getting a bit nervous that maybe they've trusted someone a little bit too quickly, or that maybe they're not quite ready for a relationship. But it's interesting because these two cards that I've pulled almost look like someone has a really nice connection, and then later in the day, because you can tell the sun is lower over here, they're like worried about whether or not they've placed too much trust on this person. Maybe contemplating things late at night, like, maybe I should back off, or maybe I should play some games. Maybe I'm, a fool for thinking that this person really is just interested in me. But this is someone who they're saying, nope, they only have eyes for you. They're not interested in meeting other people. They're not interested in flirting. It's just you. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Hello, Tabitha. Hello, Taquito. Hello, Joaquin. How we doing? If you're interested, I would love to do a personal reading for you. My email address is wickedonestarot at gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. I did just post some more videos yesterday for you all. And if you're interested in all natural soy candle, I've got my Etsy shop linked in the description box as well. Hello, Juliet. The way I saw your name initially, I almost said it Julieta, because I thought there was an A right after it, but I'm glad I checked. Hello, famous Seamus. How we doing? All right, let's see. Where should we start? I think we will go with the cats rule the earth. I do suspect that, as we tend to do, in this love connection, we may have somebody who struggles a little bit in terms of leaving the past in the past. If there was a really difficult relationship, that might still color how they view connecting in a trusting way with somebody else, right? Good morning to you too. What else do we have? The Magician, the Nine of Cups, and the King of Cups. Okay. So the question here seems to be, if I want you all to myself, if I want to, get into an exclusive relationship, if I want to, maybe for some of you, this is a person who's contemplating marriage. If I were to do that, what would happen? And I feel like this is someone who still expects negative outcomes, because we have that Nine of Cups in the reverse. It's like, are you too good to be true? Have I actually found what I'm looking for, or do I need to be a little bit guarded? Notice with this, I'm taking it as his paws are a little bit darker there because he's been hanging out in the water. Granted, the other feet are a little bit darker too. But I feel like this is someone who's getting a little more comfortable with their emotions. So we could have somebody who has fallen in love and they're worried, is this person going to fall in love with me too? Hello, Rachel. How are you doing? Well, I'm glad to hear that, famous Seamus. I hope you have everything that you need to get through that. It's been a little bit of a rough week for a lot of places, it seems like, but hopefully we got some melting going on soon. We've got the Hermit in the reverse. I just love this card. It's a cat in a box. I do feel like there's some loneliness here. I'm ready for a deep connection. I want to be with somebody that I can trust, but I keep dealing with these situations where I thought I was with somebody that I could be with, and then it ends up going horribly wrong. So there's, a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of concern over extending this offer in love, because in the past there's been some difficult, frustrating moments in love that they don't want to repeat. But this is someone who's looking at it and they're like, maybe this is the one. Maybe this one will actually work out. And I don't want to be so stuck in the past that I miss out on those two cups behind me, right? The Five of Cups is in the reverse, which is where we like to see it. This is somebody who's saying, I've got to at least try, right? Even if I'm a little bit nervous that I will get my heart broken, I don't want to break my own heart by ignoring it and pretending that I don't have feelings. Hello, Zats. How you doing? Oh, I hope you get some bacon. I hope we're having a good weekend, everyone. I hope we got to sleep in a little bit more than I did. So we have the Four of Pentacles and the Lovers in the reverse. That's the reserved energy, right? The apprehensive. I don't know if I can count on this. Is this really going to go the distance? Or should I be like preparing for some sort of rejection? Should I be preparing for you to say, oh, I've met somebody else, you know? So we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords in the reverse. I think this is someone who takes some time to themselves. Maybe it's a little bit of a long night. Maybe they have to write some things. Maybe they need to, you know, look for some great music that'll get them in a better mood. But this is a person who, for a moment, thinks, I think I should just run away. I don't think I can count on this person. It's only a matter of time before they realize that they deserve something way cooler than me. And then with this Eight of Swords in the reverse, we have a moment of clarity. It's like the universe shows up on the couch next to you, 2 a.m. in the morning. You're sitting there watching bad television, and the universe goes, psst, pull yourself together. It's time to be honest with yourself. That this is someone who actually wants to be loyal to you. That this is somebody who actually does want to be a good partner. Don't scare off the good stuff, right? So the Eight of Swords is in the reverse. Maybe it's because there's something this person says or does that really helps you to understand that you've got, you know, you've got what you need to see who this person is. You're able to use your intuition. You're able to understand their intentions through their actions. So even though there is this temptation to be like, run away, I don't want to do this, I don't want to break my heart. Instead, we have somebody who says, you know what, though? This is like what I've been waiting for a really long time. It seems like the right time for me to be in a happy connection. So why would I just like run away from it? I'm going to at least try. I'm going to see how it goes. So I think we have someone talking themselves away from self-sabotage. This is the signs of the times. And open to the good stuff. Amen. What else do we have? We have the personal power or crown card. This is reminding you of all the things that you've been through. It's not that you have to expect that those negative things are going to happen again. It's not that you've been going through all of these lessons just so that you can continually expect that everybody out there is going to do you wrong in some new, fresh, exciting way. This is saying you've been going through all those lessons, you've been learning what you need to, you've been letting go of and forgiving what you need to so that you can be happy. Not so that you can continue to expect everybody's doing it wrong. This is saying once you get to that point and you cross the finish line and now you can actually have like a great relationship, don't be so foolish as to think that that's never going to be a thing for you, right? So, wow, this is great. This is telling you when you realize that you've met somebody that really does balance that energy with you, that you want to take advantage of that, right? You don't want to walk away from that. The yin-yang sign obviously can refer to masculine and feminine balance, but it's more complicated than that, right? This is someone who knows how to, I don't want to use the same word over and over again, but what you offer and what they offer creates a very nice mixture. It's like if you were really good at separating and identifying the pieces of a puzzle so that they're easier to put together, and then the other person's really good at visualizing, you would be a great team if there was like some puzzle tournament. You guys, is there? Oh my God, I might need to look into that. You make a great team because you approach things differently, or because you come from a different background, or because what you want and what they want. You know what I mean? Like there's this ability to really be happy between the two of you. And it looks like somebody's processing this and saying, okay, so I need to be honest with myself that this is what I've been looking for. That boundaries are a really good thing to do or to have with people in general, but I don't want to have unrealistic or unfair boundaries with somebody who I really can trust. So they might be finding a way to communicate that they're a little bit more trusting of you, or they might be making the relationship more serious. If you are not committed, they want to pursue that. If you are in a committed relationship but not living together, that might be something they want to talk about, right? Hello, Iveston? Did I say that right? You let me know if I didn't. So we've got the Eight of Swords and the Fool in the reverse. Sometimes the things that have happened to us in our past can threaten whether or not we pursue what we really want in the future. But I think this is a case of somebody catching themselves and realizing I could miss out on something really amazing if I assume the worst about this person who has done nothing but show me that they want to be a good person, has shown nothing but good intentions. So this moon in the reverse, this is somebody saying, okay, I really do have to be cautious because I might be assuming the worst of a person who really does want to be the love of my life, or is the love of my life, or is my soulmate. A little bit of, I don't know, it's really important to be able to call yourself out. And I feel like that's what this is. Someone who's saying, you know, I'm being a little bit too difficult on this person. I need to be a little bit more observant, and I need to be more honest with myself that this is actually somebody who's been quite kind and honest. Page of Swords, Six of Pentacles. Maybe this is actually somebody who's a lot like me. Maybe this is somebody who wants to be in a healthy connection, right? In a respectful relationship. The problem is, I do feel like this person has dealt with an Empress in the reverse, and that is why they have been in hermit mode. So Empress in the reverse, this does not mean that you had to have dated a mean lady. Empress in the reverse, yes, it does have feminine undertones, but this is talking specifically about somebody who does not know how to love. So you might have dealt with, or your person, with a very emotionally manipulative person, somebody who liked to gaslight, somebody who wanted to create this image for themselves, but they were a very different person in reality. This is what we're dealing with. This is the obstacle, right? I don't want to assume that you're like this person just because I dealt with them in the past, when what I've seen from you shows that you might actually be more so this Empress in the upright. So that's what they're trying to have this conversation with themselves about, right? Maybe I need to be a little bit more forgiving, or a little bit better at letting go of that past situation so I don't assume that. Hello, Lee. How are you doing? Of course. Thank you for the tip. Hello, Ishtariel. How are you doing? Let's see what else we've got. I can't remember if I told you or not. This is the Soul Cat Tarot? No, Cat's Eye? Hold on. I think I'm mixing them up, you guys. I think this is the Cat's Eye Tarot. So we've got the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Cups. Okay, what are we leaving behind? The defensive energy. Okay, I support this. This is someone who's like, okay, you know what? I think it's time for me to accept that what I really would like is to give you like full access. You're in the inner circle. I'm going to tell you my secrets. You're going to know the embarrassing stories from my middle school years. Probably going to tell you about that weird celebrity crush that I have. This is somebody who's saying, okay, I think I actually am comfortable now. I think I can admit to myself that this is feeling real, and like you aren't wearing a mask. You're just a regular old person who wants to be in a loving relationship. So they're telling you something that makes them vulnerable. They're allowing you in. They're inviting you into their space, perhaps. You know, whatever they have kind of held as the last bastion, or like the last thing that I would let you actually have access to. Maybe it's like a social media account that only their best friends have access to. Maybe it's a group chat. They're like, you're invited. Come on in. I trust you. All right. Sounds good, Ren. Or like Ren and Stimpy. Not Stumpy, Stimpy. We've got the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. I think this person is going to tell you about the heartbreak that they went through. This could be the vulnerability that they haven't necessarily been ready for previously, but they're going to let you in. They're going to tell you some of those things that have been reserved for the best friends, right? Reserved for the inner circle. Hello, Sacred. How are we doing today? When will my brother JSG get his PR? When? It feels like there's two questions there, like whether or not he will or when, but let's see what we get for that. JSG, get his PR. Awesome. I've got that for you. Thank you, Sacred. And we're at 16 minutes and some change. So about halfway through the general reading. I figured you knew it. No judgment, Rachel. I'm sorry. You know I'm a stickler for the spelling. I feel bad now. Hello, Lemonade. How are you doing? Hello, Nat. How's your day going? Glad to hear it, Sacred. Oh, no. So we have the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse and the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. For some of you, this is going to be a moment of sharing on both sides. It does feel like when one person opens up a little bit more, you have some like return of that, right? Thank you for sharing that. I'm sorry you went through that. Maybe it would be a good time for me to tell you about what happened in my last relationship. Whatever it is, it doesn't seem like tit for tat. It doesn't seem judgmental or anything questionable like that. It's just, here's why I've been a little bit slow to connect, or here's why I've been a little bit of a hermit the last like year. I do feel like it's letting you in on what that heartbreak or that disappointment from the past was to help you understand, and also as a sign that they're actually like letting you in, right? They're feeling more comfortable and like they can trust you with that side of themselves. Hello, Joshua. How are you doing? Yeah, totally agree. What else do we have? We have the Lovers in the upright when initially we had it in the reverse. Interesting. So there's this decision that needs to be made. Is this about... I feel like this is regarding letting go of someone from the past. So this feels to me like I'm telling you more about who I am, sharing some of those betrayal or disappointments that happened in my past, and probably also letting you know, I had never gotten to the point where I was comfortable blocking this person or canceling this service or, I don't know, deleting this. We have somebody who might even share with you, I've finally gotten the courage to block this person, or finally admit I don't need this app. Maybe it's even deleting a dating app, right? But I feel like we have two people who are very clear with each other, after a little bit of some uncertainty here. When I really think about it, I know that what I want is to be with you. So therefore, I don't really want to be on a dating app. I don't really want to be going out and seeing other people. I just want to get to know you better. Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Like, gosh, what's his name? Hold on. It's there. Anthony Hopkins in Legends of the Fall. Screw up! That's what this person's attitude is as far as like getting to know other people. Not interested in them in the slightest. I feel like most of those people are really after is like a one-night stand anyways. Or they don't really know how to be in a happy relationship. I feel like I found something amazing with you. I don't want to deal with any of them. So I think this is kind of like a mutual, we're at this same place. and it's probably time to make sure that you feel like you understand who I am. So I think it might be a little bit slow moving for a while, or there might be a little bit of a change of pace while somebody goes through this introspective period, but it enables them to realize that the instability that they're waiting for or expecting in this situation might not happen because they're dealing with, or you're dealing with, someone who has gone through that healing process. So when it comes to should I invest in this connection or not, they're seeing a pretty stark difference between you and the people that they dealt with in the past. So it's about removing that blindfold and being honest with themselves that, you know, if I'm not dealing with somebody who's lying to me, then I shouldn't treat them like there's somebody who's lied to me. So there's this new chapter for you all. Maybe there's more inside jokes. Maybe you meet more of their friends. Maybe you meet more of their family. Maybe for some of you, there's plans to move in or plans to go on a trip. This person's holding a globe, so I do feel like there's some sort of travel involved here, but it could also just be talking about you're moving forward. There's nothing that's going to hold the two of you back because you both do operate with the right intentions. Hello, Grindhard. I hope you're having a good weekend. I don't necessarily disagree, Ryan. You just have to be discerning, right? Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who take advantage of certain buzzwords like twin flame to try to sell a dream, right? Capitalize on someone's emotions, when really the twin flame journey should be about leveraging that connection as a reminder for you that you have value, that you deserve to be treated a certain way. Once you address that, then you can have a better connection, right? But I can't believe you referenced Jerry Springer, because I was just talking about how my favorite insult, like weird insult that I heard on television, was from Jerry Springer when someone says, "Yeah, for the dude on the end, why do you look like a thumb?" But I suppose that's not super related. So we have the Four of Swords in the reverse. I'm tired of dealing with people who aren't interested in their spiritual healing, or people who just want to brag about how much money they have or what they've been doing, what they've been up to. I feel like this is someone saying, I know what I really want, and what I want is you. But let's get a little bit deeper into this, shall we? This is the Energy Oracle. Hello, Clive. Thank you for the tip. For future reference, please include your questions in the super chat. Unless you don't have a question, I will write down your name, and if there is a question, usually Rachel's pretty good about giving me a heads up if it has been added. Hello, MKG. How you doing today? Yes, thank you for liking and subscribing. Hello, Unknown. How are you doing? Oh, you're also a Carmen? Welcome. That's wonderful. I'm not going to disagree with you entirely. It's not called Dark Night of the Soul because it's filled with like butterflies and, you know, Hershey's. Like, it's a struggle, right? So we have the 5th chakra Archangel Gabriel, and indication of a protective energy here that soothes somebody when they're going through this anxiety. So whoever it is, you or your person that is kind of scratching their head like, I don't know, is this too good to be true? Am I just assuming that somebody is a great person because I'm so tired of dealing with people that are not authentic or genuine? Clive, I will focus on your work. I try to avoid the health issues. Questions can be a little bit more draining. But thank you for clarifying. Thank you, Rachel. Hello, Danny. How you doing today? So I feel for some of you, this is a well-timed like nostalgic or sentimental thing that happens, your favorite song, your favorite show. Maybe it's even someone on TV whose voice is oddly reminiscent of your grandfather's. There's something here that is not by mistake, something that is encouraging you or your person to pursue this relationship. A little bit of like soothsaying, right? Like, just no, you don't have to be worried about this. Calm down. Everything's going to be fine. It could be via a dream. It could be, like I said, music or something on the television, maybe as you're falling asleep on the couch. But this is someone who's encouraging you or your person to pursue this romance or to feel safe in this romance. Like, this is someone you can trust. I think it's probably in your dreams. But I love the goddess of the moon because this is also reference to that kind of like more emotional, like underbelly, right? Like the vulnerable side that we don't really show to others. This is what somebody's been so nervous about. If I really show you who I am, or if I really invite you into that inner circle, how is that going to work out, right? How is that going to end? Can I actually trust you if I tell you my secrets or who I really am, you know? And I feel like there's encouragement or something that causes you or your person to feel more comfortable with that connection as a result of that message. Hello, Brandon. How are you doing? Hello, Dariel. How are you doing? Ren, I'm gonna have to say, the twin flame journey does probably teach you quite a lot about some of those psychological red flags. So this is the Voyage of the Soul, and the first card that comes out is the Fate card. And I love it because even though there's maybe less of a height difference, they are still very similar, are they not? You were meant to encounter this person. This person is supposed to be on your path. And probably because you're sick of dealing with the clowns, right? This person is going to show up and be more of a magician. Like, oh, that's cute. You entertain at parties, but this person actually has like magic tricks. There's a difference in maturity between those that you have been in relationships with in the past and this person that you are about to deal with or are currently dealing with. And the main difference is this is somebody who has actually progressed through the checkpoints of their video game life, right? This is somebody who has actually learned from things, pivoted, made changes, recognized that they needed to work on things themselves. So accountability is not a strange concept to this person. This is something that they deal with quite often. And I feel like their intuition is very like clear about whether or not they should be interacting with you. And it's saying like green light, full speed ahead. No reason to back away. This person's enchanted with you. I do feel like there is something here that you bring to the table that is a really nice balance to what they bring. Maybe they're super logical and you're artistic. Maybe they love that you know how to play music because they're such a fan of listening to music. There's something here where it's like you have multiple ways that the two energies really do complement each other. Uh-huh. Did I miss? Hello, Hayden. How are you doing? Did I say hello to Kumar? What's going on? Thank you, MKG. Let me write that down for you. Oh, I'm so glad it was the greatest year of your life. That's wonderful. I hope this year's even better. So what do we have for 2026? I got that for you. Thank you. And we're at 29 minutes. 30 seconds almost. So not too far before we start those personal questions. And you might hear a stomach growl, so I really can't be delaying things this morning. I told you, wasn't I just saying we had somebody that might be like really skilled at something that is kind of captivating for another person. We have the create card: art, poetry, music, dance, expression, color. So maybe you two can relate especially well because you have an appreciation for architecture or for drumming or ballet. There's something here where the two of you really do seem to have a way to connect to the outside world as a pair in a healthy way, but also have like this kind of cocoon around you, or this happy little world that you build for yourselves where you're curious and you're able to have great conversations and feel understood by this person. So we have vivid and wisdom. This person makes you feel more alive. Another reference to creativity on the vivid card. So again, we have somebody here who could be quite creative or doing something in a creative field. But we could also have somebody who's quite intuitive. We did have the intuition card come out, and this also says clairvoyance at the bottom. And the wisdom card says unlock gateways, key, training, knowledge, and soul power. You two have both learned some very important lessons along your journey, but there is also some benefit here to you being able to share those stories or those wisdoms with each other. So again, it feels to me like the two of you were meant to cross each other's paths, that there is something you can learn from them and they can learn from you. We're going to grab a few from the Romance Angel Oracle, and then we're going to start on those personal questions. We've got Lee, and then Sacred, and then Clive, and then MKG. Yeah, how is it going out there, Lemonade? I'm ready for the warmer weather. Tomorrow's supposed to be better. What else do we have? Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life, and you deserve love. You are lovable. We have heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So maybe for some of you, this is about whether or not you're comfortable telling them that you're falling in love or that you want something more serious. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon, but there is some concern here. Perhaps that's why we have that apprehension. Maybe you have to travel to visit your family. Maybe you're long distance. Maybe you need to go do some training for a new job and you're not really excited about early on in a relationship having to be at a distance from this person. But this has clarified multiple times that this is someone who wants to be a good partner, someone who is loyal. So I think you're going to find that your anxiety is going to evaporate or at least lessen, and you'll see you're dealing with somebody who's honest, who wants to do right by you. All right, let's see what we've got for Lee. Thank you for liking and subscribing, by the way. Hello, Margarita. How are you doing? Welcome. Hello, Eleanor. I hope you're having a good day. I love that you have the number 13 in your username. It's my favorite number. All right, let's see. What do we have for Lee, please? 5 of Pentacles in the reverse. 8 of Cups in the reverse. You got you got someone coming back around that I don't think you want to talk to. Both the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse and the 8 of Cups in the reverse can talk about somebody who has left that is coming back around. Okay, so Elvis left the building, but now Elvis is coming back because he forgot his hat or something like that, right? But the High Priestess is in the reverse, I think, number 1, because you wouldn't expect this person to come back and talk to you. But number 2, I don't think you really want to talk to this person. I think you struggle to actually, like, trust this person. Ask yourself this, if that's your username. Like, why are you here? There's other places for you, right? Channels for bunnies? Yeah, we're not going to play that. Hello, Susan. I hope you're having a good day. In love with an earth angel. We have the death card in the reverse and the Nine of Wands in the reverse. Who is this, Lee? Is this someone who wants to make things more difficult for you? Someone that you know you should not be spending time with. I feel like this is a woman. Is this like an old friend? Yeah, this is an old friend. I don't know that I've read this energy before, but there's someone coming back around and they're going to be like extra polite or like put on a smile. I don't think you trust this person. And I don't think you should trust this person. Yeah, Seven of Wands, Four of Wands in the reverse. This is someone who's got a lot of instability in their life and used to be a friend of yours, and they feel like there's something here that you can do to make their life easier, even though I feel like there is a pretty legit reason why you are no longer friends with this person. Yeah, just be cautious. In particular, what I'm getting is if the answer is no, when somebody invites you to do something or asks you to do a favor, you don't have to actually like give reasons. You know, it could just be no. That's a whole sentence right there. You could put a period on it and everything, and people just have to like listen to it. I don't think you have to explain yourself to this person when you tell them no thank you. Maybe it's just as simple as no thank you, I wasn't planning on that. Nope. Because I don't think this person has good intentions. And they view you as the Queen of Cups, so they feel like you'll do whatever they ask. Which is a little presumptuous of them. All right. You know I did that, right? Hello, Jenny. How are you doing? Hello, Prophetic Bliss. How are you? Yeah, if you want to explain, Susan, that would be interesting. Let's see what we've got. Got Sacred up next. I think we'll go with the Wild Reflections Tarot. When will my brother JSG get his PR? So we have Judgment, Three of Cups in the reverse, Four of Wands, Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. So what I see here is there is someone who's getting in the way. This could be, let's say I'm like training for the Olympics or something. But I meet someone who's real hot, okay, like super hot, and I can't focus. I don't want to train anymore, and now I'm not going to do as well because hanging out with this person. There is, with the Three of Cups in the reverse, either an obligation or something flirtatious that is getting in the way of progress. So if I need to meet a certain deadline, or if I need to do some paperwork, or if I need to be studying, it's not the priority right now. So Four of Wands, Seven of Pentacles in the reverse is saying, if this is your goal, then why aren't you focused on it? If this is what's most important to you, then why are you getting distracted by a short skirt or whatever it might be? We have somebody who is not as focused as they should be, and it is causing delays with regards to the goal. I told you, Nine of Cups, Two Cups. This is like, yeah, I know I should be doing this, and I know that this is important, but have you seen that person? It's pretty hot. So we need to like probably refocus. Eight of Swords in the reverse. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. The number 8 is very important. I do think that this is someone who's going to look back and wish that they had not gotten distracted. This is like you're going to miss some big opportunity because you are turned on by someone. Like, not to sound rude or anything, but do you know how many times that's going to happen in your life? Uh-huh. I'm not really sure where we're going with that. Okay. Hello, Universal. How are you doing? Yes. All right. Time-wise is impacted by letting go of someone who is a distraction, a flirtation. Once that is addressed, then there's an ability to Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, actually do what you need to in order to move forward with that. Hey, Susan. I'm not sure if you're trying to imply that somebody in the live chat is the devil, but I'm going to put you on just like the tiniest little timeout and ask you to reconsider if this is the best use of your time, okay? Let's see what we've got for Clive. And Sacred, I wish you some healing energy towards the situation, because it does seem like there's, you know, a desire to have this situation move forward. And what advice do we have for Clive, or insight do we have for Clive regarding work, please? Justice in the reverse, Nine of Wands in the reverse, Eight of Cups in the reverse, and the Devil in the reverse. There's someone who's made a decision quite selfishly or heartlessly here. And I feel like it might put them at risk legally. Is this saying it's not respectful of the law? Yeah, so not to get too far into the details, but there have been a few instances where I've had to quote state or federal law to my employer. It's a good thing for you to know your state and federal law regarding whatever the situation is, because somebody here messed up. And I think you have proof of it. So we have Eight of Cups in the reverse and the Devil in the reverse being clarified by the Three of Pentacles, Ace of Wands in the reverse, Eight of Wands. And I feel like this is saying there is someone here who broke the law. You have proof of it. You have the ability to pursue some sort of corrective action here. And I feel like they're going to try to make you feel like you don't have what you need in order to get this resolved. Whether it's, hey, the law says that you have to accommodate this for me, so you need to do that within 30 days, or hey, you fired me for the wrong reason, and it turns out that's illegal, and so now I'm going to sue you. But there is something here as far as like your employer or the like boss, there was a mistake made regarding the law, and you have an ability to kind of circle back on that. Yeah. It's not looking good for them. But you do have the responsibility of obviously taking that action, right? Thank you, Red. Thank you, Hayden. Hello, Armchair Juror. How are you doing? Hello, Josiah. What's up? Hello, James. How's your weekend going? So we've got Ajit. Hello, Ajit. How are you doing? Oh, I was going to say, if it's asking about animal, that makes me think of Apurva. Okay. Let me write that down. Animals' current feelings and thoughts. I have added that. And I hope that, Clive, you can tell that there is some protective energy around you, making the situation you're dealing with better, but it does look like there's some legal problems on their end. Hello, Justin. Hello, Zeta. Hello, Flavor Loop. I don't know what we're talking about. Hello, Kevin. All right. Let's see what 2026 is going to bring MKG, shall we? Yep. So, Clive, this is like yours to win. So, as long as you are very specific and on point with regards to what happened, make sure that you blind carbon copy yourself or like keep details, take pictures, whatever you need. But this looks pretty clean cut to me. Like you are going to win that, you know. Oh, thank you for sharing that, Rachel. All right, so what is 2026 going to look like for MKG, please? This is the Santa Muerte deck, by the way. So we have the Six of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, and Judgment in the reverse. This is saying you need to be prepared to do something quicker than you would normally feel you need to. Because look, the Six of Pentacles does not normally have a clock on it. It does not normally have a grandfather clock specifically, which I do have a special affection for. I just think they're so beautiful. You need to end something faster than you expect to, whether that is ending a lease, ending a contract with an employer, ending a relationship. But with Judgment in the reverse, there's a pretty significant risk here that you're going to be like feeling guilty or, hey, you know, like maybe it'll get better. Maybe I just need to give it another month, or, you know, I don't want to move quite yet because living in this apartment when whatever event in my city goes on is super convenient. There's something here where you're like justifying something lasting longer than it needs to, when it's like, you're done, time to move on. Hanged Man in the reverse. Stubbornness, avoiding a decision. But it's a decision that enables you to heal what you need to or level up to that next chapter, that next level. Five of Cups, Four of Wands, and the Devil in the reverse. So your motto this year needs to be somewhat reminiscent of, if it is not working out, do not hesitate and try to like make it work. Move along. Because there's a risk that you get caught up in some sort of maze, and it could be a person who likes to gaslight you. It could be a job that likes to tell you, oh, we'll promote you in a month or in 2 months or in 3 months. It ain't happened yet, so I'm going to leave. I'm going to promote myself. I get kind of opinionated about people staying in jobs for too long because, to be honest with you, I found that there was a lot of money to be made if you weren't going to stay longer than 2 years. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't have long tenure if you're happy at your job, but there's something here about staying too long, not necessarily wearing out your welcome, but risking something beautiful that is supposed to happen for you because you're like, I don't know, I felt a little bit guilty walking away. No, I wouldn't feel guilty, but that's just me. Hello, Scott, how are you doing? Have a good day, Aiden. Hello, Saima. How are you doing? Hello, DMM. Did I say hello to Prada? How are you? Hello, Antonio. And you're so welcome, Clive. So we have the Sun in the reverse and the Ace of Cups with the High Priestess. Be willing to sign yourself up for a rainy disruptive month if it means the rest of the year is going to be glorious for you. You might have to go, you know, a little bit cheaper on certain things, or you might have to live in a place a little bit less awesome until you find something that you really do want. This is saying there's going to be transition, but it's important for you to be able to let go and trust in that process. And then with the High Priestess, I feel like there's something that you might have to keep to yourself for a little bit regarding this transition or this change. So I guess kind of like get ready for a little bit of a journey and know that you have control over the levers to some degree on the timeline. So don't slow the abundance from reaching you by getting distracted. I hope that helps, MKG, and we're going to move on to Apurva's question. What are animals' current feelings and thoughts towards Apurva, please? Hello, Alicia. How are you doing? So Apurva, we've got the Death card in the reverse, King of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. This is someone thinking about long-term stability with regards to, like, where do I want to live? Who do I want to be living with? What are my, like, long-term goals? And I feel like with Death in the reverse, there is some kind of like crisis of identity happening right now. This is what I've been told I want, or this is what I've been told I should pursue, or what everybody wants. But if I really think about it, I don't think that is what I want. I think we have some desire to be a little bit more independent and more of an individual, because animals had to keep the feelings they have for you kind of secret. This is like daydreaming about what life might be like if I just do what I want. But Four of Swords in reverse makes me feel like this person just kind of like backs down from it. There's desire and interest. I don't see cups here, like Six of Cups, 10 of Cups. So I feel like this person's trying to hold back from acknowledging or feeling really deep emotion because there's a family problem here. Your family won't accept it. My family won't accept it. So I can't let myself love you. I can't let that progress. So do they want to break out of that or not? That's what they're faced with right now, because they feel like it's getting kind of difficult to continue to hide how they feel for you. Hello, Urbano. How are you doing? Yep. Hello, Peter. How are you doing? Of course. Always got Dr. Pepper. All right. I think I will do a freebie. Hey, Universal. When you say I got a scary video I'm gonna make again and you're the star of it, do you think that gives people like warm fuzzies? Do you think it's like, oh my God, yay, thanks for choosing me. That's so great. That's creepy, bro. Like, what are you doing here? Please reconsider your approach to the live chat, or I'll have to reconsider your access to it, okay? Like, what do you think that accomplishes? All right. Margarita, thank you for reminding me what we're here for. I would like to know what A thinks and if he may already be involved with somebody. What does A think about Margarita, I assume, and the connection? What does A think about Margarita? Interesting. So I feel like A was kind of like trying to talk themselves out of what they see, what they like about you, or like second guessing themselves. And then I see a family member Maybe it's a sibling, maybe it's a cousin, maybe it's just a really close best friend. But I see somebody talking to this person like, hey, what are you doing? Are you messing that up? I thought you liked that person. You don't think that would be like a happy connection? Feel like this could be like a little bit of cold feet. And someone's over here like, hey, you're not really going to mess that up, are you? Is this person isn't also interested? Okay, no, good. Whew, I was a little nervous there. No, this is someone who's saying you're ruining a good thing, or you're about to mess something up if you don't do right by that person. And I feel like it's a reminder that is actually pretty effective. So in other words, I do think that A takes this person seriously. They're like, oh, you're right. I'm kind of being lame right now. Maybe I need to like reconsider my approach here. So is it serious? No, but I think we have this friend or family member who's like, maybe it should be. Maybe you need to like go back around. So there's a conversation here happening with a close trusted friend or a family member who's like, hey, like it kind of seems like you like this person. Weren't you saying really nice things? Or it seemed like that might go somewhere. Are you like running away scared? Like what's up with that? They're getting called out. King of Wands in the reverse. You just want to be non-serious and be a garden tool your whole life, or do you want like something real? Not my words. Well, the garden tool is. I actually heard F-boy, but I don't know. I don't want to be insulting anybody. I do feel like somebody is being a bit harsh on them and saying, do you want something? Because it seems like you want to be with that person and you're over here like playing like you don't. I think that's what he has to decide. So you're asking for a read on their thoughts and their energy. This is somebody who is literally right now processing, somebody else yelled at me and told me I was stupid for not like pursuing something serious with you. Is it what I want or not? Because they're acknowledging I tend to sabotage connections. So it's up in the air right now. They need to make a decision. My best advice for you in this kind of situation, do not obsess over it. Busy yourself. Find something to do. Get a project. Start reading a book, or I don't know, one of those like color by numbers. Do not obsess over this, because that's not going to make things better, right? Oh, that's true. All right. No worries, Rachel. Yes, thank you for liking and subscribing. I appreciate that. Hello, Just Jokes. How are you doing? I don't know what you're saying. Hello, Lucy. How are you? Okay, look, I'm putting you in a timeout, Universal, because that was creepy, and now you're like saying I'm AI. Okay. I don't think AI does their eyeshadow like this. Yeah. Is that the real name? Did I just like mess it up? So April was asking about, was it E? Hold on, let me find it. How does E feel about April? How does E feel about April, please? How does E feel about April? Five of Wands and the Moon in the reverse. Page of Wands in the reverse. The Tower. Apprehensive. Distrusting. This is someone who seems to have a bone to pick with you. Even though with the Two of Jars or Two of Cups, this is somebody who sees you as being kind of similar to them. Is this, they blame April for something? They blame you for something. Might think that you have caused drama with someone else, or it's like your positive influence makes it difficult for them to be a negative influence. You make life a little bit more complicated for this person in some way. And whatever it is that you do that makes life more complicated for them, I get the distinct impression that you are not supposed to be changing that behavior. Like, if that's difficult for them, like, oh well. Chariot in the reverse, King of Swords in the reverse. So one of my favorite like tactics or techniques in literature is when you have the unreliable narrator, like Telltale Heart. This person's an unrelatable, or sorry, well, probably also that, unreliable narrator. Like, oh, that's cool. You said XYZ. I don't even know if I can believe one of those letters. This is somebody who has kind of curated their own little version of reality and likes to paint you as the problem when I don't think you really are the problem. Yeah, Judgment in the reverse. This makes me think of Rick and Morty. Your jeers mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer. I see what you like, so if you don't like me, that's probably a good thing for me. I don't really like this person, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that was harsh. Doesn't like you because you make it difficult for them to be negative. So keep on keeping on because you're doing great work here. This is someone who probably deserves to be a little bit irritated because they seem to be irritating in general. Yeah? Does that help? Now you think I'm not AI? Do you want to see me write something down real quick? Can AI do that? I'm not AI, and I think the sheer amount of content that I make should probably make that pretty clear. But all of you real ones out there, thank you for liking. Thank you for knowing that I am not AI. It's true. I don't wish negative on others, Blender, but if I don't like you, I feel like that should be a little bit disappointing because in general, I appreciate a lot of different types of people. Hello, Benny. All right, I'm going to leave it there because I'm hungry. I love you all. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for checking out my Etsy. If you would like to purchase a candle from me, they smell delicious. And I will see you on the next one.